For centuries, humanity has gazed upward into the vastness of the night sky, captivated by the luminous orb that has become an integral part of our planet's identity, the moon. Its ethereal glow, the way it shifts through its phases, and its gravitational pull, which shapes the tides and influences life on Earth, have fueled both wonder and scientific curiosity for generations. The moon has been a symbol of mystery, power, and beauty in almost every culture, inspiring countless myths, legends, and works of art. But imagine, for a moment, a world where the moon is not our solitary companion in the sky. What if there were another moon, a second moon, hidden in the shadows of the Earth's orbit, eluding our gaze and waiting to be discovered? The moon, as we know it, has accompanied Earth for over 4.5 billion years, and its presence has shaped the evolution of life on our planet in ways we are only beginning to understand. Our moon is unique among other moons in the solar system, particularly in terms of size. It is about a quarter of Earth's diameter, making it unusually large in comparison to other moons relative to their planets. When you look at Mars and its moons, Phobos and Deimos, for example, the disparity in size is immense. These moons are tiny, with diameters of just a few dozen kilometers, compared to the Earth's moon, which is 3,474 kilometers in diameter. The Earth-Moon system has been the subject of study for centuries, yet it remains full of surprises, questions, and unsolved mysteries. Throughout history, the moon has been seen as more than just a celestial body orbiting Earth. It has played a central role in various mythologies, symbolizing everything from fertility and wisdom to power and the supernatural. In ancient times, the moon was often worshipped as a divine figure, associated with goddesses of fertility and nature who were believed to influence the cycles of the Earth. Even today, the moon remains a powerful symbol in both scientific and poetic circles, drawing people to wonder about its true nature and the role it plays in our lives. But while we have studied the moon for thousands of years, the question of whether there could be another moon, another satellite orbiting Earth, has continued to intrigue astronomers. Over the years, there have been several claims suggesting the possibility of a hidden second moon, objects that might be orbiting Earth but are too small, too distant, or too cleverly hidden in the shadows to be seen with our current telescopes. These reports, although largely speculative and often met with skepticism, raise an intriguing question: could there be a second moon out there, one that has remained unnoticed by astronomers for centuries? Could it be hiding in the darkness of space, slipping through our field of vision due to its position or orbit? The idea that a second moon might be orbiting Earth undetected challenges our assumptions about the way celestial bodies interact and reminds us that there is still much to discover in our own cosmic backyard. The idea that Earth could have a hidden second moon isn't as far-fetched as it might sound. In fact, there are numerous potential explanations for how such an object could remain unnoticed. For one, celestial mechanics is a highly complex field, and the paths that objects follow as they orbit a planet are not always straightforward. For example, a second moon could be following a synchronous orbit, which would mean it is always hidden from our view by staying in the same position relative to Earth's rotation. In such an orbit, the second moon could remain perpetually in the Earth's shadow, hidden from sight. This would mean that, while it might technically be orbiting Earth, it would be entirely out of view from any telescope position on the planet's surface. Another possibility is that the second moon could have an elliptical orbit, one that brings it closer to Earth at certain times and farther away at others. An orbit like this might take the object so far away from Earth that it would be difficult to detect, especially given the limits of our current observation technologies. Yet another possibility is that the object could be in a polar orbit, which would take it above or below Earth's poles, out of the reach of most telescopes. Objects in such orbits might be difficult to observe, particularly because they could spend much of their time in regions of space that are either too remote or too dark for our instruments to detect them. Despite these possibilities, no one has ever definitively confirmed the existence of a second moon orbiting Earth. The closest we have come to discovering such an object was in the 19th century, when French astronomer Frédéric Petit made a bold claim that he had observed a second moon orbiting the Earth. Petit's report, which he published in 1846, caused a stir in the scientific community. Petit, a respected astronomer, claimed that he had seen a small moon that was orbiting Earth at a distance of just 11.4 kilometers from the surface, which is roughly the altitude at which commercial airplanes fly today. This was an astonishing claim, and it immediately attracted attention, both from other astronomers and from the public. However, it also raised doubts, as the reported distance of the second moon was far closer to Earth than any other known natural satellite. The proximity of this object, according to Petit's calculations, was highly unusual and seemed to contradict known laws of celestial mechanics. The Moon itself, for example, orbits Earth at a distance of about 384,400 kilometers, and its gravitational influence is strong enough to create the tides. If there were a second moon so close to the Earth, it would likely have caused significant gravitational disturbances, which should have been detectable by astronomers at the time. Yet, despite the widespread excitement over Petit's claim, no one else was able to verify the existence of this second moon. Furthermore, the fact that such an object would have been visible to commercial airplanes in modern times raised further questions about the validity of Petit's observations. The debate over Petit's claim continues to this day, with some suggesting that he may have observed a different type of object, such as an asteroid, a comet, or perhaps even a UFO. Regardless of what Petit saw, his report remains one of the earliest and most fascinating claims of a second moon. It would take more than a century for astronomers to revisit the idea of a hidden satellite orbiting Earth. In 1898, German scientist Dr. George Vallet made his own bold claim, asserting that he had observed a system of small moons orbiting Earth. Unlike Petit, who had only observed one object, Vallet's claim suggested a whole family of moons, which caused even greater excitement. However, his report was met with skepticism by the scientific community, as many felt that such small objects would have been detected long before through routine observation. Despite Dr. Vallet's enthusiasm, no evidence was ever found to support his claims, and the idea of a system of small moons was eventually dismissed. However, Vallet's claim did spark further interest in the search for additional moons, particularly after the discovery of Pluto's moon, Charon, in 1978. As technology advanced, astronomers began to realize that the search for a hidden second moon might not be as far-fetched as once thought. Still, even with the best instruments and expertise, no definitive proof of a second moon was found. It wasn't until 1991 that a new discovery captured the attention of astronomers and provided the first real evidence that a hidden moon might actually exist. In that year, an object designated 1991 VG was observed by astronomers, and its orbit was unlike any other known object in space. Initial investigations suggested that it might be space debris, but as further studies were conducted, it became clear that 1991 VG was a natural body with properties similar to those of a small moon. The discovery generated excitement, as it seemed to offer proof that Earth had a second moon, one that had been hiding in plain sight. However, this excitement was short-lived, as further observations showed that 1991 VG was not, in fact, a second moon. The object's orbit and size were too irregular to classify it as a true natural satellite of Earth. It was later determined that 1991 VG was a near-Earth asteroid that had temporarily become gravitationally bound to Earth before escaping its orbit. While this discovery didn't provide the evidence many had hoped for, it did highlight the possibility that small objects could temporarily orbit Earth, and it sparked renewed interest in the search for a permanent, hidden second moon. Even though no second moon has yet been found, the idea that Earth could be in a double-planet system with the Moon continues to capture the imagination of astronomers and space enthusiasts. The concept of a double-planet system, with Earth and the Moon considered as two closely linked celestial bodies, has gained traction in recent years. This theory is based on the unusual size relationship between Earth and its Moon. The Moon is roughly a quarter of the size of Earth, which is a stark contrast to the size ratios observed between most other planets and their moons. In many cases, moons are much smaller than the planets they orbit, such as Mars' moons, Phobos and Deimos, which are just a tiny fraction of Mars' size. But Earth's moon is an outlier in this regard, and some scientists have begun to question whether the Earth-Moon system should be considered a true planet-moon system or something more akin to a double-planet system. In fact, the center of mass of the Earth-Moon system doesn't lie within Earth itself, but rather about 1,700 kilometers below the Earth's surface, which is nearly halfway to the planet's core. This is another indication that the Earth-Moon system is unique and might not follow the typical rules of planetary and satellite dynamics. In comparison, the center of mass for other planet-moon systems is generally located within the planet itself. The relationship between Earth and the Moon is so unique that some researchers have even proposed that the Moon could have been a small planet that was captured by Earth's gravity long ago, rather than having formed from a giant impact, as the most widely accepted theory suggests. While no second moon has been conclusively discovered, the search for hidden moons, temporary satellites, and irregular objects orbiting Earth continues. Whether or not a second moon exists is still an open question, but one thing is clear: the universe is full of surprises, and there is still much to learn about our own planet and its relationship with the Moon. As our technology advances and our understanding of the cosmos deepens, we may one day find answers to these age-old questions. Until then, the Moon, our luminous companion, continues to captivate and inspire, its mysteries as profound as ever.